Welcome to Le Mans in France, the legendary racetrack. And now we are looking forward to an exciting and maybe dramatic weekend of truck racing. What do you expect for the weekend?
The weekend will be difficult for sure, as the whole season was till now. I hope we can make a little bit a step in front, maybe close the gap to the fastest. And we will try our best, but it will be not easy to be in the front rows.
Was wird hier entscheidend sein?
What's the challenge for you today? As on every weekend, we have to get in front and ensure not to make mistakes. And the points we can get, we'll definitely take with us.
Holen können, die müssen wir mitnehmen.
What is for you the myth of Le Mans?
The myth in a way that it's a history that goes with it, you know, and that's a big thing, the myth of that.
Yeah, Adam, what makes this race course so special for you?
Now we are in Le Mans, and Le Mans it's a big history. I like it here because it's a very nice circuit, and every year when there's no COVID, it's so many spectators coming.
These were the thoughts of this legendary race course here in Le Mans. And now let's see if all their expectations are fulfilled for the qualifying.
After qualifying though, Norbert Kisch was given a 3-place grid penalty after his contact with Sascha Lenz. Before all that was revealed though, Chris caught up with second place Jochen Hahn.
Yeah, Jochen Hahn, second place. How was it out there on the race course?
Firstly, you must make the time practice, so we are on the second place, yes. Behind Nobi, it's a wonder. No, it's not a wonder. He shows us every time on the practice, also on the races, what you must do to have the pole position.
Yeah, Adam Latzko, there's a big gap. That was not your best round. What happened on the course?
We tried something on the first quali, and now we change back, and I hope it's coming a better time.
That was the qualification with Norbert Kisch on the pole position. But there was an incident with Sascha Lenz, and Norbert Kisch was put back on position 4. Yeah, Nobby, you have been on the pole position, now back on the 4th position. What happened on the course?
Unfortunately, after the qualifying, I received a 3-place grid penalty for holding up Sascha in the qualifying.
We got the race weekend at Le Mans underway in pretty perfect conditions. Not too hot, not too cold, but just right for our drivers and for their machines. It was Jochen Hahn on pole position alongside Antonio Alberthetti, a pairing that is usually at the sharp end of the field, with Norbert Kisch starting from 4th after receiving a penalty for impeding in qualifying. It was a good start for Shane Brereton in the number 17 machine, getting a good jump on Stefan Fass, but ideally at the front, Jochen Hahn would hold on to the lead despite some very frantic 2v2 stuff through the chicanes. Andre Kurzim would unfortunately come to strife early on in the lap after contact with Steffi Halm, but he was able to continue despite Steffi getting a drive-through later on. Sascha Lenz remained in 4th position for most of the race, but had a fantastic view of the battle in front of him, while the rest of the field jostled for position in their little duos and trios further down the order. Norbert Kisch was still trying to attack Antonio Alberthetti, while Stefan Fass managed to land himself right in the middle of the field with battles going on all around him. Unfortunately, though, for Stefan, he would get a 10-second penalty by the time the race was done for overspeeding. But it was Jochen Hahn that was speeding just right at the front of the field, leading the way and making the gap bigger and bigger as we go. Some interesting slides further down for Luke Garrett as he found the limits in his truck lap after lap. But the real battle to keep an eye on was second, third and fourth. Albacete, Norbert Kish and Sascha Lenz. The three of them very entertaining all the way through. Norbert Kish had so many opportunities but just wasn't able to get it done. Even though Antonio made a slight mistake, Norbert just wasn't close enough at the time. But out of the final corner to take another win in his phenomenal career, Jochen Hahn took the checkered flag ahead of Albacete. Jochen Hahn miles ahead by the end after the fantastic battling that was going on behind. Norbert Kish was third and Sascha Lenz would finish in fourth. Jochen, his team, his wife, everybody very happy. Antonio Albacete's team over the moon as well. And a very usual trio of drivers on the podium.
The important point is you must look how many first rows Antonio and me we have together in the last couple of 15 years. So it's many years, and it's.
Did you count them?
No, it's a pleasure. You know, we are the old guys, and it's a pleasure to be 1 and second. So from this side, we are very happy.
The old guys.
Well, I don't know. I think we are old guys, but we keep very good in form, you know.
And Antonio Albacete was not joking. Fantastic racing from the old guys, as they'll now be known. Jochen Hahn takes the win. Albacete 1.7 seconds back, just defending from Norbert Kish, with Sascha Lenz and Adam Lachko rounding out the top five. Then it's Shane Brereton and Jamie Anderson. Stefan Faas was 8th ahead of Luke Garrett, and Andrei Kurzim was in 10th after a penalty for Heinrich Clemens Hecker. He got a 10-second penalty as well as Stefan Faas for overspeeding throughout the race. The stewards once again showing they have no tolerance for such things. Louis Requenco would be 11th, Heinrich Clemens Hecker 12th, and Steffi Helm would be 13th after she had a drive-through later on. But it was Jochen Hahn who dominated the first race, and we'll see whether he can do the same in race 2.
That was the first race with the winner Jochen Haas, his second win in this season. Now we have reverse grid and Stefan Faas is on the pole position. Yeah, Adam, this is your weather. It's raining. What are your expectations now?
It's nice it started raining, but now it's a little bit stopped. But I hope it's again start because I like the rain we see in the Zolder, and I hope maybe I do same like in Zolder.
After a very exciting first race and a great win for Jochen Hahn, the conditions took a big turn for the worse. A lot of rain between the races meant that we had to do a lap behind the pace truck, and then we were going to have 2 yellow flag laps as well for drivers to make sure that they had everything nice and safe, and of course for the race director to ensure that we could have a full green flag race and we didn't have to call them in on grounds of safety. Stefan Faas would still lead them all the way, getting the reverse grid pole position. Everybody tiptoed their way round, and as you can see, visibility was at a premium. By the time the drivers had completed 2 laps, it seemed like the spray was just something they'd have to deal with. There was plenty of it, but the drivers managed to still keep their heads down and get around safely. Everyone was itching to get going, staying nice and close together. And eventually, when the green flag flew, plenty of wheel spin and plenty of overtaking. Jochen Hahn here overtaking Antonio Albacete, who finished second in the first race. And Stefan Faas managed to hold on to the lead for just a little bit. That's not without tries from Jamie Anderson involving a little bit of contact. After a slide from Jamie though, Adam Lachko would take advantage and go through very easily in a straight line on the right-hand side. Before long, he tried to line up an attack on Stefan Faas, now that there was a little bit of daylight between them, but Stefan made a mistake and lost the lead at the very next corner. Lachko suddenly going from third to first. Anderson would also go past Faas as well, and everybody piled in, including Lenz and Kish, to try and get a bit of the action. Norbert Kish eventually would get past the Tank Pool 24 machine, but that's not without this very hairy moment going up towards the chicane. Not long after that, Jochen Hahn was the next truck to try and have a go at the number 24. Stefan Faas having a bit of a tough time, but he would eventually go on to finish in 6th place. Sascha Lenz was now attacking Adam Lachko for the lead, but he had to worry about the hungry Hungarian behind him, Norbert Kish. And inevitably, it was not long before Norbert's MAN was back in front and on the hunt, chasing down Lachko. Luke Garrett was in a good scrap between Andrei Kurzim and Steffi Halm. But what we needed to watch was right at the very front. Lap after lap, Norbert Kish tried it around the outside, making the most of the wet weather, even with a bit of contact into the final couple of corners as well. But still, Lachko managed to hold on. That was until the very final lap of the race. Kish managed to hold it around the outside at the long left-hander. Through the next double right apex, he was able to get the job done. Here a view from on board with Sascha Lenz, and another win going the way of Norbert Kish. Adam Lachko would finish second, with Sascha Lenz in 3rd place. And Kish celebrated as Kish celebrates. Fantastic drifting display from him once again in that number 41 Revache Racing MAN. Kish celebrates on the podium, and we caught up with him and Adam Lachko after the race.
I think it's a nice battle. Today we have big trouble with the setup, and we try something and it's still not working on the wet condition, and we will see tomorrow. But I think it's a nice race for spectators and for us, I think, also.
How high is the adrenaline? Congratulations to this win.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. Well, for sure today it was working for us better, and I'm still shaking a little bit because it was really exciting, because I could see that I can go faster and I could attack, but it's always difficult to overtake in the rain, and especially somebody like Adam, who is very good in the rain.
So another fantastic win going the way of Norbert Kish, one that he certainly had to work for, especially against somebody that's as good in the rain, like he said, as Adam Lachko. Sascha Lenz was 3rd ahead of Jochen Hahn and Jamie Anderson, with Stefan Faas 6th. Shane Brereton was 7th ahead of Antonio Albacete, Andrei Kurzim and Luke Garrett. Jamie Anderson's 5th place meant that he won the Goodyear Cup, with Steffi Halm 11th, René Reiner, Louis Requenco and Heinrich Clemens Hecker rounding out the field. But we'll be back with more action of the same tomorrow for races 3 and 4. We'll catch you then.
That was the first day here in Le Mans with a real battle in the rain. Who was the king of the rain? It was Adam Lachko before, and now it's Norbert Kish. He won this second race. And now have fun with the most beautiful road trucks here in Le Mans. A very nice parade. Good morning from Le Mans. A beautiful day is waiting for us with exciting truck racing. The weather forecast is not too bad. You see, it's a little bit clouded. We are expecting maybe some rain, but yesterday there was a real rain battle between Adam Latschko and Norbert Kiss. Let's have a look. Yeah, René Reinhardt, fourth position. I think this is the best position for this season. Last weekend was very difficult. What went better this time?
Yeah, I told you yesterday already that we try to find a good setup all the time, and we didn't find it till now in this season, you know. And yesterday or on the night we changed also something on the truck, the whole front axle we changed. And then, yeah, it was a much more better feeling in the qualifying, and after that also a good position.
After a fantastic first day of racing at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit, we were back for day 2 and the drivers were presented with another wet race to whet their appetites. The pace truck would lead us round for the usual formation lap, but the drivers would still have to complete another lap of racing under yellow just to make sure that everybody could get round safely. Before we knew it though, we were underway and it was Kish leading away Sascha Lenz, Jochen Hahn, René Reiner after a great qualifying session in 4th and Antonio Albacete in 5th position. René Reiner would very quickly come under pressure though from the drivers behind. Albacete, Kursim, Latschko and Steffi Halm all queuing up to have a go at the German. Albacete would get the move done in the very first lap of the race in a hope to go chasing after Jochen Hahn. Soon enough though, the top 3 would make a breakaway and Antonio would not be able to bridge that gap enough to make a challenge before the end of the race. The battles then started erupting behind though. Adam Latschko having a fantastic fight, holding off Andrei Kursim and Steffi Halm whilst overtaking, or at least trying to overtake, the number 77 in front of him. He would eventually get it done down the inside into the Dunlop chicane. But it had certainly taken a number of laps for him to find the weak spot for Reiner, who would then have to go instantly defensive on Kursim, and not without a bit of contact. Eventually Kursim would try and sweep around the outside using all of the grip in the wet weather available, but it wouldn't pay off the first time round, that's for sure. He was eventually back in front with this beautiful sweep around the outside, but there were still trucks queuing up behind Reiner to try and get past again. Steffi Halm this time leading the charge against Shane Brereton. 3 wide into one corner doesn't go, and it was a good thing that Shane Brereton knew that. He backed out of this manoeuvre while Halm tried to go around the outside. Soon Steffi would lose bodywork from the truck after this collision with the penalty markers. Some very, very hard racing between herself and Brereton along the way. Steffi would get ahead of the 77 and more contact from Shane Brereton would damage the back of Reinert's truck. Eventually though he would succumb to the pressure and Brereton would get in front. All the while though, Norbert Kish held on to a fantastic lead advantage, making the gap bigger and driving off, as he does, over the horizon from Lenz and Hahn. Taking another race victory, his 8th of the championship, Kish led home a very drifty Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn to make a rather familiar podium. A Kish for Kish, and a fantastic celebration once again.
Can you tell us how difficult was it out there? It was very slippery in the beginning.
Yeah, it was. We set our truck so it would dry up. So in the beginning it was very difficult. About 3 laps in it started to come, and then 1 lap to go was very difficult. I looked at the space behind and I had to slow up, risk not getting a marker because I was on a warning.
Shane Brereton there finished in 8th position overall, winning the Goodyear Cup, but Kish won the race from Lenz, Hahn, Alberthetti and Adam Lachko. Andre Kurzim was 6th, ahead of Steffi Halm and the aforementioned Shane Brereton. Then it's René Reiner and Stefan Fass in 10th. Libri Requenco finished in 11th, ahead of Luke Garrett and Heinrich Clemens-Hecker, with Jamie Anderson getting disqualified for overspeeding. He'd hoped to turn his afternoon around with the 4th race of the weekend later on.
So that was Shane Brereton with a fantastic win at the Goodyear Cup, and now he is on the pole. Let's see what's happening next.
As ever, the drivers would want to round out the weekend with a very frantic and entertaining race, and that's exactly what we got in the sunny conditions at Le Mans for race 4, round 16 of the 2021 championship. Shane Brereton led the field away with Steffi Halm alongside after finishing 8th and 7th respectively in race 3. Jamie Anderson was looking to make a point from the back of the grid after being disqualified in the morning's antics. The whole field spread out early on with bodywork being flung about from the back of the pack, and everybody had fantastic pack racing all the way up to turn 1 and into the first chicane. There was plenty of argy-bargy and smoke and penalty markers and bodywork all over the place, but this was typical truck racing and it was going to be a very entertaining afternoon. Shane Brereton, though, made a big mistake halfway around the first lap, and Andre Kurzim got his elbows out and took the lead, while 3-wide action further back between Hahn, Alberthetti and Kish was certainly something to keep our eyes on. Lachko was then stuck in a battle defending from Steffi Halm, with the pack really chasing them down. Norbert Kish tried everything he could to get past Sascha Lenz as the two of them moved forward, both of them overtaking Steffi Halm in the same lap. Steffi with not much room to go into, in all fairness. Andre Kurzim had disappeared over the horizon, though. Fantastic start to his race with some very, very quick opening laps. Then came the main battle to watch. Adam Lachko, Sascha Lenz and Norbert Kish, the 3 title protagonists at the moment. Very, very entertaining, and no matter what Sascha Lenz threw at Adam Lachko, he threw it back. In this moment, putting Sascha Lenz out wide in the gravel, but Norbert Kish was not able to capitalise thanks to this heavy contact as they went down the hill. Luckily, both of them continued, but it was certainly some very, very entertaining racing from the pair of them. No further action called on that incident, but Andre Kurzim lit up the rear tyres despite a late charge from Shane Brereton to take his 2nd win of the season. Brereton won in the Goodyear Cup, with Lachko, Lenz and Kish rounding out the top 5. Kurzim, a very happy boy with a very happy team, and we caught up with him just after the race.
What was a decisive move, and what does it mean to you to win here in Le Mans?
Yes, we know the start is difficult, and yes, I can manage to start, and in the second corner I can go on the first position, and yes, I can do it until the last lap. Shane was a little bit slower than me, and I know the gap was bigger and bigger, and yes, very glad for us to win in Le Mans.
A very gracious victory then for Andre Kurzim, his 2nd of the year, ahead of Shane Brereton and Adam Lachko. Sascha Lenz was 4th with Norbert Kish behind. Jochen Hahn made his way up to 6th place, ahead of Steffi Halm and Antonio Alberthetti. René Reiner and Stefan Fass rounded out the top 10. Anderson, Garrett, Requenco and Hecker rounded out the field. That's all from Le Mans, though. We will catch you in a week's time at Jarama, and then 2 weeks later we'll be in Misano. As a result of a very entertaining afternoon's racing for marshals, spectators and drivers alike, Norbert Kish holds a championship lead of a larger margin now from Sascha Lenz and Adam Lachko. Antonio Albacete and Jochen Hahn are close together behind, as the rest of the field are almost tied on points. Halm, Brereton and Curzin only separated by a single point.
What an exciting weekend here in Le Mans of truck racing. I hope you enjoyed it and see you then in Jarama.